Vidori.
Our youth are making progress. They started the New Jersey this year.
Yes, so now we the Taga Bow about that. Yes, I've been in the name. Okay.
Diabetes. Please, can you say anything about Please tell us something. Unfortunately, I don't.
I think Achere is a romantics.
Okay, so Achere cellulitis is a well-known complication of diabetic wound. So diabetic wounds are notorious for not healing quickly. And a wound that doesn't heal quickly, when the body's ability to heal itself is compromised, it exposes the individual to a worsening infection. Diabetics are notorious for bleeding without knowing. So if you have a diabetic relative or if you're a diabetic yourself, you should refrain from cutting your own nails. That's a very quick, easy thing to do. Do not cut your own nails. Have somebody cut your nails. Why is that important? It's important because if you cut yourself, diabetics, they lose sensation in their nerves. So you might cut yourself and not know that you're bleeding. One complication is you can bleed out and bleed to death, or you can have a wound that you're not aware of that will potentially get worse. So yeah. Any other questions?
When our uncle said that it's called peripheral vascular disease, where you lose sensation and blood flow to your right rim, and it happens so fast.
Okay, because yeah, the reason I cannot touch these areas to work, I have an idea. We cannot learn everything at the same time, but it's very important at least if you are with your mom or with your old dad and he's having those symptoms, being able to do something about it is very important, because there are times when every minute now counts. And sometimes even our young kids here can save your life without you knowing. And that's why sometimes when you go to hospital and the doctor is giving you discharge education, I thought it's very important that your family member is there. Because if you have diabetes and your blood sugar runs so low, by the time you know it, you are out. And the only person that will save you is going to be that family member. If that family member is not part of the education, you will die. But if the family member was taught what to do, he can do something about it. So the next, I will one more. So another part of health education, I will hear about men and women issues. Many of us have some issues, you know. I know sometimes we don't even want to talk about them. So, but I believe there are things we can do about them. So, Chichi, Regina, is going to give us no medical, deep medical terms. Make it very, very simple. Yeah, so Chichi, you ready?
Good evening, everybody. Please check your telephones. I just sent out this. It's on your WhatsApp, so you can check it up and follow me. We are going to do the highlights, and then the rest of them you can read when you get home at your leisure time. I am going to touch on women's health first. I know a lot of us here are medical personnel. Maybe I'm going to preach to the youths who are leaders of tomorrow. Because once the youths get the message, they'll be able to save us, the parents. Because I guess the way we want it is we're going to die first before our children. So in case we have heart attack, in case we have anything, the youths are the ones that will rescue us, and they'll be able to be there to call 911 and everything. So we're going to start first with women's health. Women's health, I'm going to touch basically on breast cancer. And the most important thing is how to do breast self-examination and what your medical or your provider will do to save your life. I did an abstract that says that early detection, when it comes to breast cancer, early detection is what saves life. Yeah. From what I'm seeing, I lost a family member to breast cancer. So that's why I dedicated this teaching to her. When you do not see breast cancer on time, before they see it mostly at home, they have lumps, they have beads. They have the lymph nodes already inflamed, and they have bumps, they have sores. And when you get to that sores, when the lymph nodes above the collarbone, above the breast, above the armpit, and it starts going out of these three areas, they call it metastasis, because by then it's already spreading out of where it's supposed to be. So, like I said before, I said the abstract is early detection saves lives. And then simple definition of breast cancer is just a tumor that is growing in your breast. It's not supposed to be there. But once you see a tumor growing in the breast, that's basically what Igbo, on a layman's term, called breast cancer. If you're looking at your phone while I'm teaching this, and then you have major signs and symptoms that you will see on your breast as a woman, once you reach the age 20, it's always good to start doing self-breast examination. And where you do it is in front of a mirror. Another place you can do it is when you're taking a shower. When you lather yourself, it's easier for you to do that. In front of a mirror, you have 3 positions that you will use to do self-breast examination. The first position, I'm going to keep this down because my back. First position you will use is to stay like this. First position is to put your hands down and look at the mirror as a woman once you reach 20. And like your breast, the 2 breasts. Now, it is important for us to know that as a woman, your breast, one of them is always bigger
Mike.
So if you see that the left is bigger than the right, do not shavel because yes, it's supposed to be like that. Another position you can use to check your breast is doing like this. In front of the mirror too. You do like this, you look at your breast, front, side. The third position you will use to check your breast is putting your hands on your waist. And then you're going to bear down and you lean forward. And then you look, still looking at the mirror of front and the sides. If you see any of these, it is time for you to call your doctor or your provider. Redness in your nipple area. New painless. Remember, it's painless, long in your breast. Thickening or swelling on any part of your breast is abnormal. You have to check it out. Pain in your nipple. And now this is where it comes to the men. Now I'm going to speak to the men. You, the men, our husbands, the boyfriends, you can help us in doing self-examination of our breast. When you're playing with the breast, it is your job to find out if you can help your wife to stay alive. It is your job to help and see if you can get a rehab. You can do that for us. That is where you come. That's where you come. So the men, yes, when you have an obligation, you have the job, you have the responsibility to help us save our lives.
For those who are licensed,
Identify or indicate where there is abnormality. So yes, the men can help us. See, that's where you guys come important. It's very, very important. I talked about the method. There are 7 P's that they tell us to use when you're doing 7 P's to remember. I'm not going to go through each and every one of them. Like I said, I sent that to you. You can read it when you get home because of time. The 7 P's are enumerated here, so please check that because it's a lot, so I'm not going to be going through that. I told you when to call your healthcare provider. If your nipple is inverted, it goes inside. From the word go, when your mom gave birth to you, and as an adult, a teenager, your nipples were not inverted, and then all of a sudden they became inverted, that's a sign of problem. So you have to call your provider. But if they were inverted from when you started growing up from 15, 12, that's no cause for alarm. You can still check it. But if it becomes inverted all of a sudden, then there is problem. If you have bruising on your breast, you didn't have any injury, all of a sudden you start having bruising. You have to find out why are you having bruising. It is very important that you do monthly examination. I put there that you can do more than a month, once in a month. You can do it every week if you choose to. To do a straight and accurate self-breast examination, it will take you 15 minutes. So you can give us 15 minutes every week for your life. That will save life. If you have any discharge from your nipple, we're not supposed to have discharge unless you're breastfeeding a baby. If you're not breastfeeding, no discharge is supposed to be coming out from your nipples. So if you see discharge is coming out, then please contact your healthcare provider. Somebody will ask how do they stage breast cancer? They stage breast cancer by the size of the tumor, and they call it T1. Like the T1 has T1A, B, and C. So the T1 has A, B, and C. Then there's T2, there is T3. And what they mean, if you look over here, the T1 says that the tumor is about 6 centimeters, 6 cm. So which means it's not spread, it's not big yet. And then the T2 means that it's more than 2 cm. And then when it gets to C4, the T4, tumor number 4, the T4 has T4A, T4B, T4C, and T4D. And at that that point, the tumor is more than 5 cm in size. Please, if you have not even called your doctor from T1, by T4, you're supposed to be admitted in the hospital. They asked, how about the types of breast cancer? We have types of breast cancer. The most common ones are two types of breast cancer. We have the invasive. Mr. President, sorry. I'm not going to go there. You didn't want me to go deep. So we're going to read that on our own. But we just know that we have 2 common types of breast cancer. Maybe I'll leave it at that. So now I come to screening and diagnosis. Screening, how do we do it? And that's where we come and say insurance comes in. Because we all have to know. Now when it comes to and insurance, especially the insurance. But if you insist, if you go to your doctor, your healthcare provider and say, you insist that you should remember mammogram. And when new ones now that are coming out, 2 of them, that they go way deep in your breast. If you insist, Mama, I remember my own first mammogram at the age of 35. That's when I did mine. But you know the teaching, what they tell us is to do it from age 40. Even they're now pushing that you do it at 45. Come on. And when some people name with breast cancer at the age of 25, what happens to them? So that's why we have to pay attention to ourselves and our health. So if you have any first line history, first line means your mom, your sister, your first generation, when you have breast cancer. No, don't wait until 40. Go to your doctor, tell the doctor now, you want now your family have breast cancer, history of breast cancer, that you want. Your doctor knows what to do. Dr. Uche here knows what to do. They can maneuver things in insurance and you get covered for you to do mammogram. So number 1 starts with us by self-breast examination. Number 2, we go to do mammogram. If you don't have anything going on, right now they're recommending every 3 years. I wanted every year before. This is all about money. Before, every year you do. Now, every time, and then push here. So now they're pushing it up to 3 years. But if you have any family history, they say, okay, maybe you will keep me every year. So let us find ways. Say every year, give me. Because I ego, I don't have time. Treatment. And when they get the best treatment. The best treatment, the money they go chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is just not the best treatment because all the invasive, it goes in your body, generally, touches all the cells. But MRI surgery, when radiation, these other ones will go, it's not invasive. It goes, it's local, it goes to that particular point and then go and take care of the tumor or the cancer. But yeah, with chemo is invasive or gaga general. Now, one night when you chemotherapy, it comes to mental health. They're going to need our help. They're going to need our support. One of my awards is with breast cancer or any type of cancer. It looks like a death sentence. So our emotional support will be there as family members to encourage them and help them. Now we got chemotherapy, we can go with them, we can take them. Now remember, chemotherapy they will start losing their hair. That's where you come. Help that person get a nice wig. Go, that's what now in China, many wig, go to oblige to actually get with the wig, so that person self-esteem instead of Indian we when I issue and other because chemotherapy now they very harsh on the body. And chemotherapy usually IV. Some of them they will not eat, some of them so there are so many things that comes with chemotherapy, that comes with cancer, that we have to be there and be our brother's keeper and our sister's keeper and make sure that I support through each other. But remember, like I said, any dictation saves lives. So people, let us take care, cognizance of our body and see what is happening within us, and that will save us a lot of problems. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, because And when you have any question? Okay, but just 1 second.
Yes, because I jump guy, I cheerful, him to the Kuya before I hear Allah. Honestly, the medical practitioners who have spoken already did give us, I'm talking about diabetes now, given us the signs that you will get when you are diabetic or when your blood sugar rises to a certain point. But it's also good that we know the signs of a low blood sugar, because that actually, believe it or not, kills more people than high blood sugar as it goes. Okay, I lost a very dear brother because up to today I'm still crying because I wasn't there, and because I did not, everything I gave to him, everything I prepared, including sending him machines, it never occurred to me to teach his wife what to look for in a lower blood sugar, because it knocks you out completely. So without boring you with the biopharmaceutics and the clinical pharmacokinetic aspects of diabetic treatment, know that when your sugar drops to a certain point, you have a faint smell like as if you're having a stroke. So you can actually fall out. And basically, very simple things that can help you in that case. A can of soda can actually save your life. A can of soda. Or a teaspoon of sugar in your mouth at that time can actually bring you up like magic. So I don't want us to lose sight of that because that kills more people, especially in villages where people have no idea of these things. So it's just so we don't forget it.
Thank you.
Now you give a question.
Actually, there are a couple of things I wanted to say. One of them is on the mysterious notes, that which is, yes, we are talking about our health as adults. Chico, the young, our children, to pay attention to them. You know, as Nigerians, we put a lot of pressure on kids. There's actually a high rate of suicides among Nigerian young men and women. And then the issue of drug use, which is
searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds jumping out here, my name. That's spirits of life. Life is happy, but it's so insane. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming home, Savannah. Lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds jumping out here, my name. Grasping into life. Life is happy, but it's so insane. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming home, Savannah. Lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. God's jumping my name. Grasping into life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah. Lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds jumping out here, my name. Grasping into life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah. Lions roaring in the morning sun.
Yes, so now we dey go back.
People feeling like the light